Nobody cares about actually getting the rewards we deserve because a crappy anime fixes everything. Woo! We've literally seen like 10 seconds of a teaser. No duh, it looked good. Half of the reveal was pan shots of waterfalls. Lamau. That speaks to nothing of the actual writing and storytelling, whereas the actual game's story speaks a lot about what we can expect. Disappointment. Wow. Someone seems very optimistic about this anime. Did I do the wrong Archon quest or something? I totally understand that long dialogue is something not a lot of people like, but the payoff, in my opinion at least, was actually pretty impressive. And have you seen the earlier teasers? I'm going to be completely honest right now. It's not fair to judge this anime if it's good or bad, because as the comment said, we literally only had a few seconds to a minute of a teaser. But if there is something that the Genshin community is well known about, it's jumping to conclusions. So let's do exactly that, but for the anime this time. I just want to say that this channel is not about anime, so if you hate hearing someone having a normie taste then, this video will make your ears bleed. But I will say, I have watched my fair share of anime. I just recently watched Jujutsu Kaisen 0, since it started recently being streamed online. Banger movie, by the way. Anyways, remember to sub and like if you want to hear more of my trash opinions to help me out on the channel. I'm trying to reach 1.5k subs soon. I'll be pulling for Cyno live and will most likely make a video about him later. And thanks, I greatly appreciate it. Let's start off with the studio that Hoyo has partnered with long-term for the creation of this anime. Ufotable is a well-known Japanese animation studio responsible for the Fate series and Demon Slayer. I've seen Demon Slayer, finished reading the manga last year actually. The story, give or take, it was alright. It was definitely enjoyable, but it's definitely not the best, right? But I don't think that takes away a lot of people's enjoyment of the show, because people love the animation style for Demon Slayer, and Ufotable has never fucked up in the slightest with that. They were very close to the source material. Granted, the material itself for the story wasn't the best. I'm pretty sure the majority of people don't think it has a 10 out of 10 story. It's pretty straightforward. But again, that won't take away people saying that it's a good show, and I'm among one of those people. I've heard very similar things about the animation in Fate, but the story is very complicated from what I've heard, so I'll let you guys tell me how good the series is. The point is, if Ufotable is well known for the animation, and they barely fuck up any scenes from what I've watched, so I don't think we have anything to worry about. Now, let's talk about the actual story and its adaptation into the anime. I'm no lore expert or anything, but from what I've seen, the lore is actually pretty good. There's so much quality behind what they do for a lot of the characters' backstories. Some are really simple and only touch the surface, others reach all the way down into the abyss. Quite literally. What I'm trying to say is that if the anime shows this kind of background story and gives a lot of content about it that we don't usually see in-game, I'm pretty sure it will do really well. But if they follow the in-game story, who knows how it will be adapted. In the early phases of Genshin's story, it takes quite a while to understand what's going on and to get interested. But once you get into the story, it's worth staying for. If you rush the story for the adaptation to get people up to speed, we won't understand what the hell is happening, right? But if you take it too slow, we will get bored and easily lose interest. You see what I'm trying to say, right? Personally, Genshin's story is pretty good in my opinion. It takes a bit of time to get into, but it does a really good job later on. This reminds me a lot about JoJo's. It takes quite a while to get through part 1 and 2, and if you skip through those parts, which I don't understand why you would be completely confused about later parts, and oh my god does JoJo get confusing. But the story is just so entertaining in the later parts that it's worth staying for. Especially part 7. It's so good, man. Also, can I just quickly mention how Netflix completely killed the hype behind part 6? Dude, it's been a year gap between the first and second batch of episodes. If Genshin is going to adapt the main story into the anime, I want it to be relatively the same as the in-game source material. I would hate it if they took the Tokyo Ghoul route by taking another route of the story and completely fucking up the pacing, and this really hurts a lot because Tokyo Ghoul is one of my favorite manga. Bro, who thought it was a good idea to put 60 chapters into 12 episodes? That's like 5 chapters per episode, and each chapter was really long. Let's take a look at some games that were adapted into anime. Danganronpa, it's basically Among Us, but for weebs. From what I've heard, the majority of people like the anime, but the games themselves were just superior in a lot of ways. Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time, and they completely fucked it up. It was completely rushed, and it could have done so much better, man. Arcane. It's not an anime, but it's based on League, which I still know nothing about and have no interest in, but I have heard that Arcane is really good. So good to the point where it convinced a lot of people to watch the show to actually try out League. Oh, those poor souls. The point is that if Genshin could do what Arcane did for League and avoid the mistakes that Persona and Danganronpa did with their adaptations, then I think we got ourselves a pretty good show. However, we only got a few minutes of a teaser shown to us. I'm pretty sure they planned this somewhat recently and decided to reveal this during the anniversary because it would make the most sense in my opinion. And since this is a long-term project, they have plenty of time to release this anime. Genshin's story isn't even finished, so I don't think the anime will be released in the near future. If they did plan on releasing it soon and had more time to start animating, they probably would have at least announced a time frame that it would be released, and they would probably show more than just a teaser during the 3.1 livestream. Also, it has been 2 years since the game was released, and I know a lot of people wanted an anime based on this game. It was highly anticipated for good reasons. So if Ufotable can keep up story-wise as they do with the most recent Archon quest, and be reliable to the source material, then I don't think we have to worry about it too much, right? It's not perfect. The Archon quest pacing could be a lot better, but I think they are going in a great direction. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to sub and like if you haven't. Feel free to join the Discord for notifications about my uploads, access to older VODs for my stream, and a server just to chill in. Have a good night and day wherever you're at, and I will see you all next time. Peace and take care.